Here it is. Here we are. This is it. Standing on the finish line, standing on pure completion. I've never seen the past. I've never seen the future. If I look at experience, this present experiencing is all that I've ever known. If I get really honest, I only know the past or the future as a thought, a mental image right now. Here now is all I've ever known, the only placeless place I've ever been. And who is this I that I'm referring to? I don't know. I don't know what I am. I don't know what this is. This cannot be thought. It cannot be compressed into any kind of finite knowledge, any formulatable, encapsulatable knowledge in the form of a theory, an idea, a belief, an opinion, a hypothesis. The medium is too low fidelity, and so it will always vastly miss the mark, because this is immediate fullness of dynamic infinity radiating through itself, shining forth through itself. Simply look at the level of detail of anything. There is an infinity of vividness, an infinity of high definition detail in the simplest of things. You pick up a leaf, you look at it, we simply reduce this down and we say leaf. And we think that because we invented a mouth noise to refer to an approximate pattern or category that seems to recur within whatever this field is, we think that we actually know what this is. But we don't. We've come up with a word that acts as a reference point that allows us to say, oh yeah, that's roughly similar to this other category of things. So it allows us to communicate with each other, and we know that when another person says, look at that leaf, they're saying, look at that patterned appearance within this strange field of apparition that bears a similarity to this category of patterned appearances that we have labeled leaf. But what are those patterned appearances? What are any of these patterned appearances? I certainly won't deny that there is a personal emanation here. I see this face in the camera right now. Yet what is that? What is that face? What is that being? Is this being of what we typically call Jordan Bates in any way truly separate from the earth, from the cosmos, from this infinity? Can he be separated out? Because sure, I won't deny at all that there is a unique flavor here. There's a song that only I can sing. There's a recognizable texture of JB-ness that is emanating from the general vicinity of this differentiated portion of the field, and I do deeply feel that it's important and vital to honor that. Don't get me wrong, I honor our sacramental journeys, I honor relationality, I honor the individual flavor, the individual soulfulness of any of these flowerings. And yet, when I look at this body, it looks and feels akin to a flower that is coming out of the earth. This is like a blossoming of a flower, and the earth is like the stalk of that flower. The cosmos is like the stalk of that flower. The totality of whatever this is, this field of nowness, feels like the stalk of the flower, and this JB-ness here, this ever morphing, ever shifting JB-ness that I've never experienced in this precise way before, feels like a temporary blossom appearing on that rose bush of nowness, and is utterly intrinsically inseparable from that rose bush of nowness. Similarly, you could say a temporary wave appearing on the surface of the ocean, utterly inseparable from that ocean. So this is the ocean. This is the ocean now. Here it is. Eureka. We found it. This is the mother lode. This is it. This is reality. The realest thing we've ever known or encountered, the only thing we've ever known or encountered. And when I say that I don't know what it is and I don't know what I am, that can seem confronting to the mind that is always grasping after its definitions and always wanting to tightly get its hands on this very clear narrative of, oh yeah, that's my past and that's what happened to me and this is my identity and these are my opinions and this is how I act in these situations and this is what I need to do to get from point A to point B. That entire complex can be so heavy. There can be so much separation and so much suffering laden within that entire construction. And the mind grasps after it so intensely for a feeling of some sense of safety, some sense of security. And yet there is a cost. It's very painful to be so deeply identified with limited narratives. Maybe it's not always deeply painful, but over time, reality has a way of undercutting all limited narratives, revealing all limited narratives and identities to have been inaccurate constructions, finite attempts to bottle up infinity, to take this infinite super ocean of totality now and compress it into a golf ball sized module, a Pokeball. Can't be done. And so there's another possibility available, and you could say a different type of knowing. Yes, in a sense, I don't know what I am, I don't know what this is, it's clear that I could never say what anything is. It can't be said. And yet in another sense, I do totally know this. I know it with profound intimacy because I am it. There's no separation whatsoever. I am this ocean. I am this flow. I am utterly intimate with it. There's no medium. We're like hearts without skin, as John Aston has beautifully put it. We are utterly intimate with this ever-refreshing river of sensation. And I have intimately explored it and intimately open to many of its primal qualities of rest, wholeness, peace, repose, equipoise, all embracingness, all embracing love, grace, flow, fluidity, artistry, juiciness, devotion. And so I do know it on incredibly intimate levels, and it feels deeply native to me. I feel at home. I feel a deep at homeness. I love this nowness. This nowness is home. This nowness is me. And yet this form of knowledge is not, it's not a pinning down, it's an opening up into infinite knowledge, because this way of knowing does not have an endpoint. Just like this nowness, it just forever opens and blossoms into more of itself. Every moment is a revelation. Every moment is an infinity of novel information cascading through pure beingness. So we are truly continually opening, continually discovering, continually blossoming into more and more and more of what is here. And it doesn't pin down. It doesn't pin itself down. To the contrary, it just forever opens into more of itself, forever blossoms into more of itself, as far as I can see. And you don't have to turn this into a new belief system. You can't crystallize this as a belief. The moment that you try to lock it into a structure of belief, you've missed it. You've missed it. It's like trying to grab a river in your hands. It's all just gonna trickle through, because this is too slippery, it's too wavy, it's too fluid, it's a living riddle. It's everything at once. We can't step outside of it to observe it objectively, because we are it. We are it, and nothing else can be found. Let me know if you find something else other than present experiencing. Let me know if you find something else other than totality, presence, being. I've looked far and wide, never found myself anywhere other than here now, here now. You know, I spent a lot of years traveling to the ends of the earth, traveling to, whatever, 30-some countries. I explored deeply with most of the well-known entheogenic medicines on the planet, exploring the far reaches of what is possible through consciousness and visionary states, mystical experiences, revelation, samadhi, cessation, you name it. I have explored a massive bandwidth of what is possible in this earthly experience, and I'm glad I did that. That was incredibly enriching and beautiful. And at the same time, the big joke of it all, the punchline at the end of the day, is that the most precious treasure that I discovered through all that searching was the discovery of a treasure that had been with me the whole time, since birth, and very likely prior to birth, I would intuit. The now moment, this presence, this wholeness, here and now. The highest form of magic, of wizardry, of alchemy, is not to manifest something out there or change your life in some way, or get something, get from point A to point B. No, it's to discover what has always been right in front of you all along. That is what transfigures the lead of mundane, ordinary, day-to-day humdrum experience of, oh yeah, I'm just little old me, moseying along, gotta handle the daily to-do list here. This discovery transfigures the lead of that into the gold that was always there. It reveals the gold that was always there. The lead has always been made of gold, is the discovery. It's not about getting somewhere else. It's not about finding something else, someplace else. It's not about manifestation. It's not about magic in the sense of asserting your will upon this earth. That's all a distraction from the view of what is most illuminating, what is most foundational, the most pristine, purest form of magic, which becomes indistinguishable from prayer, from meditation, from surrender, from devotion, from illumination, enlightenment, awakening, and healing. All of these things eventually melt into the same thing, which is just clearly seeing what has always been the case. Clearly seeing that the now moment has always been home. Relinquishing the clouds in front of the sun, the primary thing that prevents us from seeing that this moment is already the gold that the alchemist has been searching for. The lead is already the gold. That is the thing. The lead is already the gold. And the primary thing that blocks us from seeing that, seeing the sun behind the clouds, are all of these cloud-like beliefs and opinions where we have arrogantly assumed that we already know what life is. It's quite tragic. In our arrogant and very innocent, very, very innocent assumption, our deeply conditioned assumption that we already know what I am and what life is and what the world is, and there's all this stuff going on out here, and I got to get from point A to point B, and I got to check all these things off the to-do list, and all these things happened to me, and I was wronged in these ways and X and Y, and I'm holding on to this and that, and I need to da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's all of that that we become encased in, entangled in, encaged in, and then we don't realize we start living in a story. We cease to live in the actuality of our present experience, which is always effulging forth as this wholeness, this vastness, this fullness, this simplicity, this utter simplicity. It's a pure boundlessness in a conditionless condition of total simplicity, peace, repose, freedom, all-embracingness. It's always been right here, yet we have created clouds in front of our eyes that prevent us from seeing what's always right in front of us. We don't realize that we have all these appliances, all these conceptual overlays that are coloring our perception, and all we're seeing is our own story. All we're seeing is our own story, our own finite story, which cannot contain infinity. This is infinity. This is non-finitude, non-quantifiability. This cannot be measured. This cannot be encapsulated in any kind of structure. It's too slippery. It's too totalizing. It's too everything at once. So we've made a foundational error. Our culture has made a foundational error that it keeps passing on and on and on and on, which is to mistake the map for the territory and to habitually condition all of us from the time that we're very small children to continue this trend of mistaking the map for the territory and living inside of a map instead of opening to the vastness of the ever-present, ever-complete territory, the light of pure being. Ooh. And it creates suffering to live inside of an inaccurate map, because we're not living with the actuality of our experience as it truly is, as it truly presents. We are trying to take this infinite, fluid, ever-morphing super ocean and trying to make it fit within the film canister, the petri dish of our small, limited perspective. And naturally, there's going to be a friction there because it just doesn't fit. It's never going to. And the more we try to impose our small opinions and our small narratives onto this vastness, the more that we will be inevitably frustrated because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. And then we have to engage in endless self-deception, trying to make it all fit, trying to make it all fit into our narrative and our story. And we get angry at people who challenge our narrative and challenge our story because we've invested so much of our identity and our foundational self-worth and security in these belief structures, belief systems that can't contain infinity. And then we habitually, for hundreds, thousands of years, we end up actually murdering, dismembering our fellow human beings, including women, children, who simply hold a different belief system than we do, because we've become so attached to these finite models with such a deep need to hang on to them and grasp onto them so tightly and prove that we have the correct model, that we become willing to literally murder someone who challenges our belief system or holds a different belief system. And even if it doesn't go all the way to physical murder, there is an ungodly quantity of information warfare and political warfare and squabbling and tribal violence happening all the time, all around us. You know, the internet at this stage and age is basically a cesspool of everyone viciously vomiting their opinions at one another, with almost no one realizing that all of these opinions are wrong. All opinions are wrong. No belief is true. Nothing you can ever put into words is true. It's always partial. It's always inaccurate, including what I'm saying right now. I'm just trying to use language to build a bridge and translate to something that is fundamentally beyond language. So this is the deep point that we would need to grok this as a species. We would need a critical mass of people to start to grok this limitation of all belief, all thought, all opinion, all spoken words, if we wanted to truly end the war within ourselves and therefore end all external wars. All external wars have their root in a foundational delusion of separation. One of the most foundational, inaccurate beliefs that fuels our civilization is the belief that I am a separate me over here and the rest of the world is over there. That is inaccurate. Investigate that and find out for yourself if that's really true. Have we not arisen from this earth just like the trees or the flowers? Is the earth not peopling in the same way that it's treeing and animaling? We arose from the dust. We are not at all separable from the earth. You can't have us without the earth. You can't have the earth without the galaxy. Can't have the galaxy without the cosmos. Can't have the cosmos without whatever this foundational wholeness, totality is. So we are in no way truly separate at all. We're waves on the ocean. And what we do to one another, we do to ourselves in a very deep sense. What we do to one another, we do to our own children, to our own bodies. As Christ put it, what ye do to the least among you, this you also do to me. And this is what we foundationally have not understood, which is why we think we can just get away with being unkind and mean and and violent to people and animals, but we're doing it to our own selves. And we're perpetuating a legacy of violence that we then continue to pass on to our children and grandchildren. So if we would like to uproot that, we have to very courageously question our beliefs, question our most foundational assumptions. Ask, can I really know that that is true? And again, I would propose that if you truly put any belief under the microscope, you'll discover that it's not a complete truth. It's an inaccurate partialization. It might have some usefulness. The mind is a useful tool for all sorts of things, like this translation that I'm attempting to weave right now to something beyond the mind. But that is what we would need to do. We would need to ultimately reach a critical mass of people relinquishing all beliefs, or at least seeing through all beliefs, seeing the foundational limitation of belief. Once you've seen that, you can still play with stories and beliefs and perspectives and craft skillful perspectives and skillful stories, and yet you're aware of their inaccuracy. You're aware of their limitation. And as you do that, as you do that process that sounds very confronting and challenging to the mind, because it doesn't want to loosen its vice grip on all of its most cherished beliefs and ideas and opinions. Yet when you engage that, that is when, again, you discover that the lead has always been made of gold. The lead of your small, mundane, shitty life, if that's how some people see their life, has always been the gold of fullness, of wholeness, of non-separation from infinity. You are infinity. You are nameless boundlessness. And as you relinquish these finite stories, the experiential quality that begins to effulge and emerge is one of homecoming, one of returning home, feeling home here now, feeling whole here now, feeling full here now, feeling peace and rest here now, feeling a sense of freshness, a sense of noticing that you've never seen this moment before. You've never seen anything before, in a sense. Everything is fresh, everything is new, everything is continuously opening into a brand new iteration of itself. Every moment is an immersive hyper tapestry of novelty, a master artwork from the heart of creative intelligence. And you are that tapestry. You are that artwork. What you're conceiving of as you is a non-separate portion of that boundless emanation that every moment is. And so the relinquishment of fixed beliefs and the relinquishment of grasping after fixed beliefs, the relinquishment of this sense of needing to make it all fit into some belief structure, some neat and tidy story, seeing the foundational limitation of that, the foundational way that that will not work. It will never work. No belief will ever be completely true. Every belief is an inaccurate partialization. Seeing that very deeply, that entire mechanism starts to lose its grip on you, starts to lose its power, that endless movement of trying to get a handle on things and trying to find the answer to things relaxes. It relaxes and it gradually dissolves more and more, and there's more and more of an opening and openness to not needing to know. Not needing to know a damn thing. Other than, here it is. This is here. This is home. This is the sun of pure being, the sunlight of pure being. This is all I've ever known. This is it. This is what I am. This is what we are. This is what we're all looking for in our heart of hearts. It's always been right in front of us. This is love. This is devotion. This is wholeness. This is poetry. This is freedom. This is simplicity. Purest simplicity. We're so good at complicating life, and meanwhile, life is always only now. What could be more simple? Life is always only now, and the now is already done. Before you can even think about it, the now is already done. In this instantaneous flash, this instantaneous shining forth, the now is done. The now is complete, and now is all there is. What could be simpler? It's too simple for words, too intimate for words, too close for words. Silence swallows all. Thank you, my friends. Peace and love to you. Be well.